May is here along with a bunch of new PS5 games, so today we're breaking down 10 of the biggest. If you're a fan of PlayStation, be sure to subscribe to us here at Push Square, and with that, I'm Aaron, and here are 10 of the biggest PS5 games of May 2025. After getting both Indiana Jones and Forza Horizon 5 last month, we're kicking off May with yet another Xbox release. This time it's Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, which launched on PC back in 2019, on Xbox in 2023, and now PS5 is finally joining the club. Now, to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the original release in 1999, you've got the PS5 version of the game, which, like the Xbox version, comes with new 4K visuals and a remastered soundtrack. But to add a little extra spice in there, we now have an all-new expansion to enjoy. If that's not quite enough, the upgraded edition of the game will come with the 2 previously released DLCs and 5 days of early access, which has already started by the time this video is out. With hundreds of hours of content and 1,000 years of human history to manage your way through, you can set off on your quest for world domination with more than 45 different civilizations. It's still got that old school look to it, which I'm sure will be a nice nostalgia boost for those either into the RTS genre or that have actually played the original Age of Empires 2. It's dropping on May 6th on PS5. From the people that brought you Lost in Random, The Midnight Walk is a dark fantasy adventure entirely made out of clay. Like, actually made out of clay, and then painstakingly animated in a stop motion style and 3D scanned into the game. You play as Potboy, and you must outsmart fire-eating monsters in stealthy gameplay. It's a quirky sort of horror title filled with a really artistically interesting world, plenty of spooky monsters, and even some friends to be made along the way. The clay art design really is interesting enough, but what's elevated it for me is that the whole game is playable in PSVR 2. I'm really curious to see how the clay stop motion looks in VR. I think it's going to look sick. The Midnight Walk is dropping on PS5 and therefore PSVR 2 on May 8th. The following week, on May 13th, we finally have the release of The Precinct, which has featured in some of my previous monthly games videos before being delayed, so please don't do me dirty again. The Precinct acts as a love letter to classic cop movies, acting in part as a cop simulator, but also as an action sandbox. That means that you're going to have to respond to everything from parking violations to full-on car chases and shootouts. You have the choice to go in alone or with backup, with the game's in-depth support system, allowing you to call in squad cars, roadblocks, spike strips and more cop stuff. It's a big, vibrant world that you are serving and protecting here, with a rain-soaked 80s aesthetic to it, which you can explore by foot, squad car or even helicopter. It's even got a day and night cycle with dynamic weather. Here's hoping The Precinct sticks with that release date this time round. Easily my most anticipated game of the month, Doom: The Dark Ages smashes its way onto PS5 May 15th. This is actually a prequel to the 2016 reboot, and it's going for a much more boots on the ground approach to its combat compared to the jumping and zipping of Doom Eternal. Instead, the focus will very much be on strafing and parrying with the new Shield Saw, a big hulking addition to your arsenal of uber powerful weapons. It looks noticeably slower than the previous 2 games, but also much more similar to the original Doom games. Not all too surprisingly, in my opinion, id Software has ditched the multiplayer component of the series this time around to put its all into the campaign, which is being described as a medieval action blockbuster with the Doomslayer as its star. It's cooked up some of the biggest sandbox levels in the series' history. We'll see if these changes are wins or not when Doom: The Dark Ages launches, but keep an eye out on the Push Square channel for our eventual review. Up next is Blades of Fire, a dark fantasy hack and slash dropping on PS5 May 22nd. Looking at the trailers, it looks like a good old-fashioned game, you know? Cool enemies, combat, a fantastical world, awesome weapons to forge. The combat kinda goes hard though, in a weirdly simplistic but satisfying looking way, at least from what I've seen. Different attack types need to be suited to specific types of enemies, almost like the stand system in Ghost of Tsushima. The more of a specific enemy type that you face, the more you'll learn about them, not just lore wise, but also strategies on how best to deal with them, and the more more you use a weapon, the quicker you'll unlock the next upgraded version to forge. There's something nice about these video games.
Like, it feels like a movie.
You got to appreciate the occasional game that just wants you to kick back, relax, and slash apart some demons. On the very same day as Blades of Fire, we have Deliver at All Cost, a humorous delivery experience where you'll smash your way through towns doing exactly what the title suggests, delivering stuff at all costs. It's rocking this top-down perspective and, from the looks of things, a pretty impressive destructive physics system. You'll tear through walls, spill items out of the back of your truck, or even whip a giant ball around Fast and Furious style. It also seems to have this neo-noir mystery wrapped around its goofy gameplay, and there are even ways to upgrade your truck. I'd actually be keen to check this one out myself. Here we have a solely PS4 entry in the list, although of course still playable on PS5, Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny. This is a remaster of the 2002 classic, which featured a new protagonist and story over the original Onimusha Warlords. So whether you're revisiting a game that you played back in the day, or dipping your toes into the Onimusha franchise for the first time, Samurai's Destiny has got you covered. You play as Jubei, I'm gonna definitely have said that wrong, a man set out for revenge who was interestingly modelled after the late Japanese movie star from the 70s and 80s, Yusaku Matsuda. You'll have 4 allies to travel with in this tale, and each will have a bond level, and your level with that character then offers up branches in the story, which is really cool. As you can see from the gameplay, this is basically an HD remaster, so it's still the same old game from 2002, but that does also mean that it's retaining that charm and quirkiness of early 2000s PlayStation. So you can relish in that nostalgia when Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny launches on PS4 May 23rd. On May 30th, we have a very different kind of release from Elden Ring developer From Software with Elden Ring Nightreign. This is a multiplayer game set in the Elden Ring universe, albeit some kind of parallel or alternate dimension, where squads of 3 drop into an area Fortnite style, and they must gather up materials, weapons, buffs and the like before facing a series of bosses. If you die, you're set back to square one. Now, it's an interesting choice for FromSoft, especially now that we know about its next project, Duskbloods, a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive PvE experience, but when I played Nightreign at the preview and closed network test, I did have a lot of fun with it. It's just not the deep RPG experience that fans of the developer may have come to expect. Now, you can check out my preview on the channel, which goes a lot more into the details about how this game works if you're interested. Otherwise, you can pick up Elden Ring Nightreign on PS4 and 5 May 30th. Again on May 30th, we have EA Sports F1 25, the yearly installation of this super fast racing sim. I believe this is the first of this generation to ditch the PS4 release, so this will only be available on PS5. If you're into these games, then you know the drill. The F1 games are immersive and simulation-like racing experiences where you have to consider tyres, where to ride the apex, and actually hold off from pressing down on that accelerator all of the time. I'm terrible for just smashing into walls in these games. Formula 1 25 is delivering a revamp to the My Team management experience. It has the 3rd chapter in the Breaking Point story with fictional team Connor Sports. It has reversed tracks to keep you on your toes, and there's even an option to play as the fictional team from the upcoming Formula 1 movie starring Brad Pitt, with post-launch content inspired by the film promised to come out down the line. There's a lot to love if you're a Formula 1 fan, especially as the sport celebrates its 75th anniversary, and we have the monumental switch from Lewis Hamilton this year, who for the first time will be donning the Ferrari colours. It's lights out and away we go for PS5 May 30th or May 27th with early access if you order the iconic edition. Now, as our last little addition, as if you didn't have enough games dropping on May 30th, we've also got Hypercharged Unboxed. This is a cool wee shooter where you play as a plastic action figure. It's going for this whole Saturday morning cartoon vibe with it, and you'll be fighting across bedrooms, gardens, shops in PvE and PvP modes. You can play in solo with bots, with other players in either online play or split screen co-op, and I just think it looks really neat. There's a shot where you are fighting off spinning Beyblades, and to be honest, that was enough to win me over. Anyway, Hypercharged is launching on PS4 and 5 May 30th. So those are 10 games heading to PS5 this month. Let me know which of these you're most interested in. Quite a nice variety here, I think. Definitely Doom is up top for me, but I'm really keen to check out Midnight Walk, Nightreign and Hypercharged, so a lot to keep me entertained this month. Anyway, thank you as always for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and until next time, I've been Aaron and this has been Push Square.